Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is FPL Roxas, and today I'll be sharing my Gameweek 24 team selection. Gameweek 23 is finally over and we're slowly getting closer to the doubles and blanks. As usual, feel free to like and subscribe if you found the video enjoyable. Alright, let's start the team selection video. Looking at how I performed for Gameweek 23, I got a total of 71 points. It's not enough to move me up that much in the ranks, as even when most of my team returned, other players that are popular such as Richarlison, Saka, and Trippier that I don't own have all returned big numbers as well. My backline scoring just 1 point each is also a main factor as to why I haven't moved up that much. I did bench Martinelli, who had 10 points. I don't feel that bad about it as the rest of my attackers weren't really benchable due to their fixtures and form. So it's still a green arrow, but it really doesn't feel like it. All good though. We have the doubles and blanks coming up, and those particular weeks can easily jump us in the ranks or even drop us harder, depending on how well we have planned for it. I'm almost done setting up my plans for my team for that period, so now let's look at my transfer targets for this week. Once again, just like last week, my transfer targets will be solely players who are going to have a double for Gameweek 25. My main transfer target is Diogo Jota, 4 goals and 3 assists in the last 5 games. He's in really good form and has an easy period of fixtures moving forward. If I were to bring him in, it would mean removing Martinelli, which I really don't mind. I'll get to bring in Liverpool's best attacker, who is going to be facing Burnley this week, one of the weakest teams in the league at the home. And then Brentford and Luton for the double in 25, of course. It looks like an easy transfer on paper, but we have to think about Game 26 as well, as Liverpool will be blanking for that week. That's one drawback for bringing him in. Also, assuming if Salah is available to play for Game 25 onwards, that will mean that Jota will be a rotation risk as well. If I were to make this move, it'd be right to wait until the press conferences for more information regarding that. If Salah is still unavailable, bringing in Jota would be really good. Next up is Ivan Toney, 2 goals and 1 assist in just the 3 games that he's played so far. It's a very good rate of return. He has Wolves this week, which is quite attackable in my opinion, but he has Liverpool and City for double, which doesn't look easy on paper. But then, Toney is on penalties and is a proven scorer. 20 goals last season as a second runner-up for the Golden Boot, already returning quite a few after an 8-month ban from football. He also plays in 26, which helps us with the headache for that back game week. I think he should be talked about more as a potential transfer target. And currently, he's my second favorite transfer target for this week. And finally, we have Darwin. I have just removed him for Holland last week, and it looks like a back and forth transfer, but it could just be right to bring him in. I had to choose between removing Solanke or Darwin for last week, and I chose Darwin due to his minor injury. I also expected Solanke to return against Forest, but that didn't happen. Solanke has Fulham this week, but will have to face Newcastle and Man City for 25 and 26. Fixtures wise, I'd say Darwin wins in that, but he could also be a rotation risk if Salah comes back, just like Jota. But at the moment, it looks like Klopp favors Darwin over Gakpo and Diaz, so he could be starting all the games he has coming up. So if this were to happen, I would be removing Solanke for Darwin. And those are my 3 transfer targets for this week. Let's move over to the next section where I'll be discussing my team selection. And this is how the team currently looks like before any transfers. In goal, I have Leno, who has Bournemouth at home. Fulham's defense aren't as good at the moment, recently letting Burnley come back from a 2-goal lead, which is quite bad. Bournemouth this week isn't any easier, and he's my only playing goalkeeper at the moment, as Turner has lost his spot once again, so I'm going to have to play Leno for the foreseeable future. For my defense, I've got Porro against Brighton at home. I predict the game to be back and forth, with both teams attacking just as much as each other. I'm hoping that Porro gets a return from it. I'm not sure about a clean sheet, though. Also, after Madison's return from injury, Porro's appeal has decreased a bit as he isn't on most of the set pieces anymore. He's still very involved in the attack, of course, but having the set piece duties removed from him is bigger than we think. Saliba has West Ham away. It shouldn't be difficult to get a clean sheet, so I'm hoping for that. Estupinan has Spurs away. He's looking like a rotation risk again, having only 45 minutes in their loss against Luton and only a brief sub appearance in their win against Palace. I believe he should be starting against Spurs as they aren't an easy opponent, and I don't think De Zerbi is going to rotate him for this game. For my midfield, I've got Foden and De Bruyne against Everton at home. If they both start, this game could just be as dominant as the Brentford game, where they had 25 shots, a lot of corners, and 72% possession. I didn't expect Foden to be so explosive in that game, getting into good positions and totaling a hat trick. It doesn't look like he'll be benched again after that display. For De Bruyne, I'm not sure about it. He started the last two games and he's looked really fit in both, playing a lot of minutes. I think if someone was to get rotated, it could be him, but I don't know really when it comes to the Pep Roulette. I hope that he starts, of course. He's able to return even when he gets a limited amount of game time, so it shouldn't be a problem. So I think he'll be one of my captaincy options for this week, even better if he starts. And there is Martinelli who has West Ham away. He scored and got the maximum bonus points in the win against Liverpool. I think he's finally getting back into his scoring form from last season. Let's see if that continues this game as well. And of course, he could be uh, removed for Diogo Jota this week, as he is currently my favorite transfer target. But yeah, if I decide to keep Martinelli, I think it should be fine. Palmer has balanced away. He's still as consistent as ever, already tallying 10 goals and 5 assists so far this season. He's probably going to be staying in my team for the rest of the season. Moving over to my forwards, I've got Holland, who has Everton at home. He hasn't gotten to the best positions to score in the last two games he's played, but knowing how good he is, he's bound to start scoring again soon. And I think this game against Everton could be the right time for him to explode. He's currently my main captaincy option for this week, but that could change, of course. Watkins has United at home, coming back from a massive game with a goal and 3 assists. He is another captaincy option for me this week as well. And lastly, I have Solanke against Fulham away. Solanke didn't play well in the game against Forest, having an expected goal of just 0 for that game, mainly due to Bournemouth playing 10 men, resulting in having lesser chances to feed him the ball, as they had to defend a lot. Solanke scored in the reverse fixture against Fulham, so I'd be satisfied with the goal this week. My favorite captaincy option for this week are Holland, De Bruyne, and Watkins in that particular order. The team is set up quite nicely for Game 24 in terms of the attack. The defense, however, isn't great. I wouldn't be surprised with 1 pointers from my backline again, but I'd be expecting a lot from my midfielders and my forwards. On the other hand, the team has quite a few problems for the future. Looking at the bench, first there's Gordon getting hurt in the Luton game. Currently, there hasn't been any updates regarding the extent of his injury, so I'm going to have to wait until the press conferences. I'm going to need him available for the blank game week. Same thing can be said about Taylor. I don't mind him still being injured, but I'm going to need him for the upcoming blank as well. Lascelles has lost his place in the starting 11, and the same goes with Turner. The plan is still the same: attack the upcoming double by adding more doublers. I could bring in another doubler in Jota, Tony, or Darwin this week, or I could bank the transfer and do the transfer in the next week instead, with an additional transfer that I can make. I'm currently leaning towards bringing in Jota for Martinelli, as he faces Burnley this week, which I could see him scoring in. Martinelli's fixtures are honestly not that bad, and West Ham this week could be a game where he scores. But I don't have any other midfielders that I'm willing to remove. And yeah, if I do roll the transfer, this is how my final team will look like for Game 24. And that wraps up this week's team selection video. Good luck to everyone for Game 24. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to be updated on my latest uploads. I'll be uploading every week, so stay tuned. Leave a comment if you'd like, and thanks for watching the video.